complex technology and building a very simple solutions for the people like us. So today we have a very interesting panel and a very, very diverse panelist with me today. So it's honor to introduce all of panelists with you all. So, and yeah, with the co-convener Women in Tech Asia, I also, as a full-time, I work with CloudDev. We are a training and consulting company and also part of Asia. So, yeah. So first I would like to call Miss Diti. So now I think I can call her as a friend also because we talked a lot today. So she's a technologist, entrepreneur, founder at NX Smart Solutions with keen interest and deep insights in software products. The profile is very long, but I'm just cutting it short. She's having 20 years of experience in fitness, martial arts, adventure sports, and other popular sports as well, and 18 plus experience in mobile, cloud, and other digital product. And the first mobile app worked on, that is in the 2003. So she looked young, but she is having amazing years of experience in various fields. So welcome Titi, and thank you so much for accepting the invite.
It's an honor.
Thank you. Next we have Alka Waghela. She's an accomplished professional in cybersecurity, governance, risk and compliance. Please have a seat, Alka. Yeah, thank you so much.
She's also certified in SIM and ISO 27001 and so many things. So welcome Alka for this panel, for bringing that perspective, technical perspective, which we are looking for. Next, I would like to invite Oshi Kumari. She's a co-founder and CEO of, it will be easy for me to ask questions from the both side, yeah. So she is the co-founder and CEO of Insight FVP, a deep tech drone company revolutionizing consumer, agriculture, and defense. They also presented their idea in the season 1 of Shark Tank, season 2 of Shark Tank as well, yeah. So they are capturing moments, cultivating fields, and ensuring security. And yeah, and they also featured in Forbes as well. Yeah, congratulations, and thank you so much for accepting the invite. Welcome. And last but not the least, we have Gayatri Akhani. Please come on the dais. She's founder and CEO at Infringe and leading the team of 150 plus data and AI engineers at Infringe. 18 years of experience in data engineering, data modernization, data observability, predictive analytics, machine learning and AI expertise in solving complex business solutions. So I hope that now you can understand that we have a good blend of knowledgeable people in the panelists. Now I think I can also take a seat. Feeling a little tired? Yeah, thank you. So very, very interesting topic and very excited to have few questions which I have designed to gather the insight on this technology. And again, I'm using the technology only to ask the questions. So to start with, first of all, I would like to ask all the panelists to give a little context on this topic. What do you think, based on your experience, that what this panel discussion and what you want to bring to the audience on this panel discussion? I think we can have, yeah, we have 2 more mics. I can give one to this side and one to this side, yeah. Yeah, we can start from left side as well, no worries.
So, deep tech and SDG. SDG, I guess everybody's aware that for 2030, UN has set up goals for the world to uplift the quality of life and climate action. Sorry. I can. Am I audible now? Okay.
Yeah, now we can use.
Fine. That's fine. Okay. Now it's working, I guess. And how, since last few years, the SDG goal, whatever the benchmark was there, whatever they were planning to achieve, they were lagging behind by 43%. And how deep tech is enabling to boost the progress or achievement of the SDG goals. And that is, I guess, I'm looking forward to discuss about this and bring it more aware and bring more awareness about this and make people more aware and maybe if there are startup founders or wannabe founders, they can take up this kind of opportunity and develop something out of it and bring the SDGs even more forward and go beyond.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Alka Waghela, and I would say, as what Diti say, technology and deep tech technology like AI, cloud computing, cyber security, and biotech. These are the fastest growing technology nowadays, and how we collaborate it with the sustainability and SDG goal. It's very important. So we will, I will add some value and give some awareness on it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alka. Gayatri, please.
Okay. So SDG is mainly like how can we have more inclusion? How can we take care of planet, like sustainability, renewable energy, health, and wellness. It's more of a education, like how deep tech, AI, data, and all robotic can help with achieving the goal which as a nation or as a world are set, and how as a startup or innovate, we can innovate, and we create something which would be helpful to achieve those goals. So that's what we are going to discuss today. Yeah.
So I think all my fellow panelist members have already covered most of the points. But yeah, adding to that is that whenever you're planning to start a company or you are a startup, you're having a startup, right? So it's about how you can inculcate those SDG values into your startups and into the vision and the mission of your company. So that is what we are here to talk about, and how the technology which we are building, right? How will that help us as a country, as a world, to achieve those goals? Because we are the ones who are living here and we have to take care of that.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, please.
So, as an entrepreneur, everybody wants to make a difference in the world, right? They want to make an impact and impact for greater good. And SDGs give us little guideline that these are the domains where you can make an impact. And through technology, I guess you can make greater impact. And that is what we can discuss about too.
Yeah, sure. So in continuation to what you were talking about, Diti, so I have my question to you is, how are deep tech solutions uniquely positioned to address critical SDGs, like as you mentioned, climate action, clean energy, or sustainable cities?
So these are the highly impacting challenges, not just as a country or city we are facing. These are the world challenges, and we as a humanity have to address this. And only way to reach and make it on a super fast train or bullet train kind of a speed, if you want to achieve, technology makes it possible. Like I would just give an example that during COVID period, giving vaccine to so many crores of people in India, that would not have been possible without this technological intervention. The UDI, the Aadhaar, and you get the certificates right away. I mean, it's so amazing. I get chills just by talking about it. The UPI payment, how it penetrated the lowest strata of the population. These all things are possible only because of technology. So these are the examples how we can boost our economy, how we can boost our all the SDG goals achievement, how we can achieve that. That is like on a super fast train we can achieve that. And climate action, I have worked with multiple startups. I would just give an example. One is agri-tech company, Cropin. You might have heard it's on its way to become a unicorn. I had a chance to work with them for about a year and a half, and what they are doing is through AI ML, they are monitoring the land, that is the farms and the crops, through satellite imagery and advising on the real time, and also giving forecasting that to avoid any calamity or to attack of some whatever insects and they are giving so many advisories. So this is another example of food and better agriculture. I am not sure of the title of the SDG, but that pertains to food and agriculture. And the another one is I had a chance to work with is carbon credit exchange. And everybody is like talking about carbon emission, the carbon footprints, but what we can do is make through this carbon credit awareness and exchanges, we can, I mean, it is already happening. The companies can buy the credits, they can deposit credits, they can create. So this way it gives people a chance to be more aware and lessen the footprints. Even the government, I guess Geisha probably is also playing a big role in this to advise government about carbon credit and reducing carbon emissions. So this kind of initiatives are also, the blockchain is another deep tech technology. So this kind of technologies are really helping to supercharge the SDG goal achievement.
Hello. Yeah, absolutely right, Diti. And it gives me a like quotation which I can recall is speed thrills but kills. So you are speeding up the innovations, but you have to be taking care of your speed. That are you following the sustainable goals or not? Is it viable solution or not? Is it helpful for the society or not? That's really wonderful point. So that comes to the next question in my mind, and that question is to Oshi, that deep tech ventures often require significant capital and long development cycles, right? So how can women entrepreneurs overcome funding challenges, which everybody is having, but I want to like highlight women entrepreneurs, and what are investors looking for in this spaces?
So I think the first question any entrepreneur should ask from themselves is that, do you require funding, right? Because there are startups like who can, work on bootstrap, they don't require fundings, right? So you have to ask that question first of all to yourself. Like, we are a drone manufacturing company, so of course we are in a capital intensive market, right? Where a lot of capital is required for such kind of industries. So being an entrepreneur, right, when you're going to raise fundings from investors, from VCs, angel investors, right? So first of all, what we have seen in our journey over here, like we have raised a lot of rounds, and right now we are raising our pre-series A round from VCs. So it is that, first of all, that the investors bet on the founders more than the company, right? Because if you are not truthful to yourself, to your company, then how can an external person who doesn't even know you personally or the startup can bet on you, right? So it's very important, first of all, to be truthful to yourself, of course, that you don't, give an XYZ numbers to the investor just to impress themselves, just to impress them. And then later on, it's very difficult to explain those numbers, right? So that is very important. And like, secondly, team building, because whatever you build, any startup, any company, it is because of the team which you have, right? If you don't have the right team, then however good your product is, it will fail, right? And yeah, so these are very important factors. And like, let's say if you have all these checklists done, right, then you should be very confident with your numbers, even if it is small or if it is big, right? Ki, what is your cash flow? What is everything about your numbers? You have to be very confident, and you should know what is happening in your business. If you go over there asking money and you have just, memorized 4 to 5 questions, 10 questions seen on the internet, and then there is a question which you don't know the answer, then that doesn't give confidence to the investors. Because आपको ही नहीं पता है आपकी कंपनी में क्या चल रहा है, तो दूसरे पर्सन क्या ही इन्वेस्ट करेंगे.
Absolutely.
So these are few points which you have to take care of, and if all of these checklists are okay, right, then it's not that difficult to raise money.
Thank you. So when we talk about startups, ideas, funding, I think that startup is backed with a strong technology solution. So when we talk about strong solution, they are always looking for freshers. Like when I talk to freshers or beginners, they're always looking forward to work with the startups. I've seen the trend is happening. So my question to you, Alka, is for freshers looking to enter into the deep tech space or startup area, what skills or experiences do you recommend they develop to make a difference in the industry?
So, if you are fresher and you want to get into deep tech, so there are a few factors you need to consider. One is, as the name suggests, deep tech. You need to have a strong security or a strong technical foundation and strong technical expertise. So you need to, there are many online platforms nowadays or free courses available on online portals. So you can opt for their courses and you can, explore like cybersecurity, then AI, machine learning, biotech, blockchain, all the technology you can explore. Start with the basic and then step by step, based on your interest level, you can deep dive into it and get expertise in one or two field. Okay. So you can take a help from there are, mentor coaches available and online portals are also there. Apart from that, nowadays, like there are many resources available and to get knowledge or information is easy, but need to develop the mindset to solve the critical problem. So problem solving is one of the very important aspects you need to develop as a fresher. And when it comes to some problem or something, you need to think like a way like how can I solve this problem and what technology I can use. So that way you can add value to your industry, your domain and your company. Third is you need to, nowadays like collaboration is very important and effective collaboration needed to be learned. When I started my career into cybersecurity, fortunately I started as a consultant and I have, collaborated with different domain people, like in different sector, different domain. And then I get, their views, their expertise, and that way that shaped my career. So you need to effectively collaborate with them because you need to collaborate with the business leader, operation, HR, admin, strategic leaders, and everyone. Apart from that, nowadays networking and getting the right mentor is very important aspects. So you need to attend the networking events like any, this community events and any forum like online forum or everywhere, and get the like-minded people and the right professional to guide you. Okay. And last but not least is be adaptable and be always learn everything. Like this deep tech, these are the technologies, fastest moving technology, right? And you need to everywhere there is something new coming up in that particular thing. So you need to learn and grow. You need to explore that. You need to explore the latest trend. You need to attend the webinars. You need to subscribe some blogs and be aware of latest trend. So in conclude, there are the things you need to work on.
Perfectly and well said, Alka. Like I can remember something which I have written somewhere and I have seen that is that the more you learn, the more you earn. So every day when you add something in your learning, your salary or the money which you are earning, that will also be added. You're not noticing it, but when we see the experienced persons are getting more salary, we are seeing that they are getting it. But they are getting it because of their experience, because of the learnings they have. So it's rightly said that keep learning and we have to be adaptive because every second there is a new technology. And when we talk about technology now...
One second.
Yeah, sure.
So I traveled with Abhilasha from Vadodara to here this morning and we were discussing and I told her that now I'm also inspired to maybe take a PhD or something.
Yeah, that's an example of more learning because in PhD you have a different experience. I've just gone through that and completed, so I know that. So I was just talking about the technology that now everybody is talking about AI, robotics, blockchain, so many other deep tech technologies. And we discussed also that how these deep tech innovations play important role in driving sustainable development. So my next question to you, Gayatri, is what is your take on this? And I just request you to provide some examples from your startup journey because you are heading the team of 150 plus data and AI engineers. So please give your experience to us as well.
Sure. Yeah. So deep tech is, and I would say data and AI, as we work on that, is definitely helpful in achieving SDG goals in each sector. I would say, if you say education, healthcare, waste management, renewable energy. So it is helpful across all sectors. We being more focused on healthcare industry, and we work with a lot of US-based customer also in healthcare. So I'll give you some examples of like what are the challenges we are solving using deep tech, AI and data in healthcare industry. So I have like some of the projects we have been doing, we have done. One is like detecting the disease at the early stage, onset prediction of the disease for something like ARDS, which is respiratory system disease. If you can detect well in advance for the patient, like at the time, what time the patient is going to be in the critical stage, that based on a lot of data from emergency and ICU. So we have been working on a lot of emergency and ICU data and predicting the disease. That's one of the example. The second would be how can we have personalized patient care? Now we know a lot about retail, like personalized recommendation, but about healthcare, when it comes to the healthcare, how can we have personalized patient care? That's the one thing. How can we reduce the load of the physicians or doctor by using AI and deep tech, where they can do better care for the patients? So these are some of the examples and projects we have been working. We have also developed the product where AI-based skin analyzer, where AI used to detect the skin concerns and recommend you the product which are more suitable to your skin, which is another product we have been working on. So being working on the healthcare industry, we have a lot of use cases which we have implemented and working towards a healthcare goal. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. Well said that there are so many I can say that domains where these technologies can bring a different kind of innovations which can help the humans like us, which are, like I can say that very lazy because I'm not able to write the questions on the paper because we have technology now. So these kind of innovations are bringing changes in our day-to-day life. So my next question to you, Diti, is what are some of the emerging deep tech trends which are very much contributing to the achievements of SDGs specifically, and how can new entrepreneurs capitalize them?
So there are a lot of buzzwords going around lately. I'm sure everybody has heard it. AI, ML, and AI, ML is set to take our jobs away. And somebody also mentioned there that it writes the code and it's flawless code. AI is writing on ChatGPT. So yeah, AI is a big part of it, definitely. And AI contributes not just in like healthcare, where Gayatri is working on. It contributes to wherever you need predictive analysis, like even in defense, it's working. It's not the SDG goal, but yeah, it's a big part of it. Other sectors are blockchain, carbon credit is one very good example of it. Internet of Things, then the satellite imagery that again comes into the AI ML part of it. Then I guess then clean energy initiatives. That's where clean energy, again, carbon emission, reducing pollution, the climate action. That is where predictive analysis again comes into picture, where it predicts the weather patterns. And then it predicts the disasters, so evacuation happens on time because of this deep technologies. even in the biochemistry, pharmacy, the precision medication, that is another part of it. It goes to cellular level, your gene composition, and predicts what medication or what pharmacological molecule will work best with you. This kind of, it penetrates a lot of segments and various technologies. It's not in silo. It works, sometimes it works in composition, and sometimes it works by itself. So a lot of technologies are now being implemented or used in various sectors to enhance these SDG goals, and it definitely moves the human race forward, I would say.
Absolutely. Uh, Voice of the mind. So, the pointers that you have given, uh, we say, like, I'm in the sales right now. So we say that if you want to sell something, add AI, Gen AI with that product. And in startup also, I see when I've seen some pitches, if your pitch idea is having AI, Gen AI, people are more prone to that because everybody is saying this is the era of that. So new technology is coming up with new opportunities. So my next question to you, Oshi, is that as a woman in deep tech, what unique perspectives do you bring to your startup that contribute to its success in addressing global challenges?
As a women entrepreneur.
So I think, again, as I mentioned, that I think the success of a startup is related to its team, right? So it's very important to have a good team, because if you have a good product, again, if you don't have a team, that's baseless, right? And personally, I also handle HR, one of the domains in the company. So there is always a challenge between selecting a person who has all the skills which we require, and a person who is very, very ready to learn those skills. And of course, if you compare both of them, then of course the second person is very less likely to get selected, right? But we don't do that in startups, because firstly, it is a startup. Startup means you need flexibility in a person. आज क्या है, अगले दिन क्या हो गया, you don't know, right? And there is nothing called scope of work in startups. If you have joined a startup, you have to do everything and anything. That we have such kind of people in the company, right?
Absolutely.
Because you can't define a scope of work. आज क्या आ गया, कल क्या आ गया, you don't know, and you need people. You can't go and hire people for each and every task, right? So I believe as a entrepreneur in the company, right? So I always believe to select people who are more willing to work, who are more open to feedback, who are more resilient, right? Who are open to adapt, right? Because last month, like the team had gone to Him Dronathon in Leh Ladakh. It's above Leh Ladakh. It's almost 18,000 to 20,000 feet from the sea level, right? Now you can't write those things in the scope of work, right? Ki you have to be so fit, and you may, of course, of course you write that yes, you may have to travel to certain places, but no one will imagine that you are going to Leh Ladakh, Sikkim side, right? Because the team has gone. So that depicts that how adaptive the team is, because there were around 100 to 10 companies who had participated, but only 30 companies were able to reach that point, because that was so extreme in weather conditions. Like we had pilots, like we had to fly the drones over there, of course, and we have to test the range and everything, right? So we had pilots from different companies who were flying drones, and they got fainted because the oxygen level over there is less than 40%, like less than 50% over there, right? So you need adaptive people, right? Of course, the company will provide you with all the equipments which is required to survive in that harsh condition, but it is more on the mentality of the person. क्योंकि आप कितना भी sweaters, jackets पहन लो, but if you're not ready to go over there, then it doesn't mean anything, even if you carry oxygen mask and everything, because we had to carry over there. that was so steep, and it was like, very difficult to even walk 100 to 200 meters in a day. You used to start breathing heavily and everything. And the same thing happened in Sikkim. Like, it was worse than Leh Ladakh over there, right? So, like, me as a woman entrepreneur, as a woman founder, we always inculcate these qualities into the people working with us, right? Because skills, what I believe is that skills can be developed over time, but you cannot change a person's behavior, a person's personality. You cannot change that, right? So we always, put that thing into our employees, into the people who are working over there, right? And that is how we have created an ecosystem. We have created the company's environment in such a way. And one more thing is that there is a no toxicity policy in the company. Like, the HR does the orientation, of course, but I personally sit with each and every person and I say that, okay, however skillful you are, if you are causing toxicity in the company, if you're back bitching about someone, you will be removed, you will be fired that way, on that same day. And we have, like, done for 1 to 2%, not on the same day. Of course, we gave them a 1 week tenure and everything. But yeah, we have done such things. So those things have to be inculcated in the company from the founders. So because founders are, वो घर जब बनाते तो ईट जो होती है ना, that is the founders, the base. And over there, you build the company, you scale the company. So that's very important.
Yeah, very well said, Oshi. And I think the examples which you have given, I also feel to join startup very soon, like yours as well, because you get so many opportunities, and yes, your scope is not limited. So you learn a lot. And being a women entrepreneur, I think we can bring a different perspective, because I can just recall that movie Mission Mangal. If you all can also recall the idea which Vidya Balan, she was playing a scientist character, that was a different perspective to seeing that innovation. So
I agree with you, because it has been times where you can hire a person to do that. क्यों पैसे बर्बाद करने, हम खुद ही कर लेंगे. You have to stay extra hours, that's all, ना, but company के पैसे बच जाएंगे.
absolutely,
So,
yeah.
we
So
have
that's
all
a
that.
perspective we have as a women to save money or use whatever we have. Yeah.
That's why the financials are very much safe with with women, especially.
Absolutely right. So, with people like these which we are mentioning, passionate and willing to work, all the freshers or maybe experienced ones also looking for the startups. So, the leadership plays a very, very important role when we talk about these startups which are driving for SDGs and all. So, next question to you, Gayatri, is as you have a big team to lead, what do you think, what kind of qualities you're looking for in the women entrepreneurs, those who are leading these kind of startups which are driving SDGs?
Yeah. So first and foremost, like when you're working with the deep tech, the first leadership quality is continuous learning and innovation. You can't have like a full team utilized, in just for earning the money. You have to have someone doing research and development, right? And research is something like it takes a long time to see the results and benefit. So that's very, very important to spend a lot of money on research and development. That's the first thing. Second is measurement. Like one of my mentors says, like what you measure, get improves. So any company as a leadership quality, we need to measure whether it is the SDG goal or overall performance of the company. You need to have measurement framework in place where you measure your goals and you measure the performance of your organization, performance of your people. So that's the second important thing. Like if you're measuring the things, you will not go blind ever. That's very, very important. The third thing important is that whatever you do, when you have a startup, there are chances of failure. There is no startup in the world which got successful without any setbacks, right? There will be definitely setbacks, there will be failure, there will be hard times. So the resilient is very, very important. We can't get impatient, or like we can't say as an entrepreneur that we can't say that this is it, I can't handle the failure. So we have to have that mindset, like growth mindset, positive mindset, where we can take the challenges and we can, come back and face those challenges really well. Yeah. So that those are the three leadership quality I would say which should make any startup or deep tech startup successful.
Yeah, absolutely right. If you don't show the passion, the team is also not going to show that. Yeah, absolutely right. I've felt that also, like in some sessions when I'm attending, if the speaker is also not showing the energy, the audience is also not getting that. So that's again example of the driving the startups as well. So Alka, you are coming from a security background and you help companies in managing compliance and those things. What do you think, like these startups just started, let's say, right? And they don't have that big budget to manage those kind of security requirements and compliances. So what kind of advice you want to give to these startups to manage security and also balance the costing part as well?
Yeah, so as Gayatri rightly said, the main thing is getting the funding is, it is very hard to getting the funding. And in current ecosystem, for example, government is evolving, like government is giving the grants and, other programs are there. But still we are we are very behind it. And I think government should create such more program, and awareness is required, like awareness and getting the right mentorship, as I said earlier. So needed to connect with the right professional with the expertise and get the right guidance, and then need to take a step for the funding and investor like investment and everything. That is very important. So in cyber security also there are challenges, especially for women. I have seen women are facing a lot of challenges in deep tech or cyber security. They are deep tech are more on technology, and people there is the perception, people are people having that perception that technology is the male dominated industry. So that perception needed to be changed, that stereotype needed to be break. And there is some strong ecosystem needed to be built.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you. So I can totally relate with the last line which you have said, that it looks like technology is male dominated. And I felt that in some conferences also. Security is always, we see that the people having black t-shirt with black hoodie, working in silos. When I go to conferences in my Indian attire and deliver security sessions, it's completely changed the perspective. Like, it's not now male dominated. Male are supporting a lot of women to come in front, and that's why we see such kind of panels happening in everywhere. So startup also needs to take front, and they also have to understand that what are the measures they need to take care. They have to balance it also. Yeah,
I would like to share one example.
Sure.
Recently, I was scrolling on LinkedIn, and one lady, like she is very renowned and handling the certain MPanel company, cybersecurity company, and handling more than 100 staff. And she has, apply like she has stating the post that she is looking for male co-founder. So I was out of curiosity, and I'm from the same domain and same industry. So out of curiosity I casually reach out to her and I ask her, why male co-founder, specifically why male co-founder? She said, because for us, for women, it's not easy to get licensing with governments, and like it's easy for male co-founder for connect with CISO, networking with CISO, and getting governance licensing and all. So she is specifically looking for male co-founder. So today also in this era, we need male co-founder to run smoothly.
Yeah, because both will work hand in hand, and that's why
Yeah.
we need a diverse approach everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, I think we reach to the end of the panel, and at the last, I just want to request all the panelists to give a last note to conclude the session. Maybe we can start from Gayatri. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I absolutely agree with, like, it's not the time like it was before 15 years or 20 years where it was challenging for the woman entrepreneur to get the funding or to get success in the business. Now time has changed, and we also get a lot of support from the family, from the government. Only thing regarding government, I would say, is there are a lot of government policies that are there regarding like deep tech and startups. And some people already know and leverage that. We have been leveraging some of the policies, getting benefits from the government, some of the policies which were shared in the keynote. But I think there should be some system where people are more aware and which create more awareness towards the startups, how to utilize and how to get benefits of those, like policies and all. That would be my, closing.
Thank you, Gayatri. So I request all the panelists to close it in very short because we are short of the time. Yeah.
I think that problems will always exist, okay, in a world. Like, world is full of problems. That's why we have startups. नहीं तो हम लोग का धंधा बंद रहता है, ठीक है. And I think like people, especially women who are looking to, start a company or they are budding entrepreneurs, right? Don't wait for the right opportunity. You will never get the right opportunity. You have to make that opportunity. Okay? Even if it is a male dominating or a female dominating, whatever industry it is, right? If it is a male, to theek hai na, you can go there, you can create your own aura over there, right? You can't sit and wait ki nahi, the government will help us and they'll launch schemes and then I'll go and start a company. Nahi hoga wo sab. Because if you start a company, if you make a difference, then the government will see you, will recognize you, and then they'll make the schemes, right? So don't wait for the opportunity, create that opportunity, and there's a lot of problems to solve.
Absolutely, Oshi. Yeah. I request both of you to just conclude it in short. Yeah.
So, coming to the women in tech, I was so happy to see a woman in high heels gracing the stage today and heading the science and technology department. That was like epitome of any woman you can see out there. So anything is possible. I think you should have. I mean, I would have convinced her to even look for the women co-founder. But yeah, the deep tech is very, very progressive, and it's a very bright future out there. SDG goals, they give you a chance to work for the humanity, for the higher purpose, and every human being has psychologically, that's the highest need of, like there are pyramid of needs, and this is the highest need for the higher purpose, and that gives you chance to work with that. I get chills when I talk about it. And like you take any domain, you take mobility, you take smart city, you take, urbanization. We saw a video of that smart building and smart sustainable building. You take any industry, this deep tech is going to penetrate if it is not yet, but it is very bright future, and I'm very, very, I'm very positive about it and optimistic about it.
Thank you. Yeah.
So my key takeaway is there needed to be create more platform for women, for in terms of deep techs, in terms of sustainability. For example, in our Geisha, this Geisha is, if I'm not wrong, it is 10 year, more than 10 year, right? And we recently started few months back, Women in Tech, and in India, like since past few years, we have seen like Women in Tech, Women in cyber security, all the forum has been started, and now women are getting more opportunity for networking and for connecting like-minded people, So I think this more and more opportunity needed to be created in deep tech as well as while keeping the SDG goal into mind.
Thank you. Thank you all the panelists for wonderful participation, and we gained a lot of big insights from this. Thank you once again, and thank you audience. Yeah, thank you.